Hey boys and girls, welcome back to Persona 3 FES. In the last episode, we began our adventure after the events of the fall, and the journey as a whole. With Aegis' story now officially starting, we actually are now witnessing a new anomaly, the Abyss of Time. And whatever this is, apparently it's stopping the day from actually progressing anymore, because apparently, no matter what we do, it'll always stay on March 31st, 2010, which is very, very weird. But, although everything seems bleak, we're actually now, as Aegis, the next wildcard, with Mikoto's powers apparently. But, although we do have to do all this, and we do have a new anomaly to actually work towards actually getting through, to actually fight for our new futures that we fought so hard to get to, we actually have to keep our eyes on a new special someone that's apparently Aegis' sister, because, honestly, we still don't really trust her yet, due to the fact that, apparently, due to all the information that we have right now, she's actually been inside the Abyss of Time this entire time, and her one goal, kind of like how Aegis was with Mikoto / Spooks during the entirety of the journey, her one goal is to make sure Aegis is safe. So, yeah, definitely interesting. But, due to her being a character specifically for the answer, we will be using her for the entirety of the story. Because, honestly, this is where you can only play her, so, honestly, we're obviously going to use her. So, with that being said, let's now make our way into the Abyss of Time, because apparently this is going to be our new version of the Tartarus. And as we did the Tartarus, we're going to do it the same way, because there's no way we're doing every single floor. I'm gonna be honest, I already had to deal with the Tartarus, and that was us from the main story. That's interesting. But yeah, as I said, we're not going to do the Tartarus again as we did it just in the last series. So, in order to make it much, much easier and probably save a lot of time, we're going to do it kind of like how we did with the Tartarus, do the skips and everything. And it'll probably shorten a lot of the answers' actual play time for you guys. But honestly, I don't think you guys want to watch me play hard mode of Persona when I've been playing easy mode this entire time. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of stress on me. And as I said in the last episode, I'd figure out a way to actually play the answer to at least put me on par with the enemies. And I couldn't really think of anything other than giving myself a maxed out persona to start with. So for now on, until I feel like I'm in a good spot where my allies aren't going to get one-shotted by everything and I don't have to strategize too much for fights, because it's already hard enough trying to do commentary on top of playing a hard video game, and honestly, I don't play hard video games on my own volition anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna say that now. Orpheus is now at maxed out, like, not level, but maxed out as in stats-wise, so honestly, I guess we'll figure this out, because hopefully, even though he's maxed out, I still think we're gonna still have problems, since our allies aren't maxed out, let's be honest, so it's literally just Aegis that's a little bit stronger than she normally would be at this point. So, with that, apparently we just saw Mikoto / our main character just go through the door there. Interesting. What was that? Yeah, that was weird. Why is Spooks going there? I'm gonna call him Spooks, because that's what he was called through the entirety of the story for us. So that is weird. Huh. So this is all of our doors. Might as well check them out, might as well. I'm guessing we can only go in the glowing one, but we got Kaina, we got Patomaloma, Empyrean, and this is the one we're going in, Malebulge, okay, or Malebulge, and Tenora, and Coctus, and then and another one, and Judeca. Interesting. And then we have the Desert of Doors. Can we actually go into the desert? Or are we actually locked to what we're doing here? Wait, we can. What the heck? Okay, no, there's a blockage. Okay. I was about to say, if we could just walk all the way out there, that'd be funny. Huh. Interesting. But it's so cool, though. You can actually kind of explore it a little bit. Although there's nothing to go to, but that's weird.
That black shadow. It was just went to the door, right? Maybe it's... Oh, sorry about that. That seems to be the first door. I wonder what it's like inside. If we don't go in there, we can't do anything. This is our only choice. I'll give everything I have to support you in there, so if you're ready, let's go.
Okay, I think we're ready. So, into Mailbulge. Interesting. Funny name, honestly, but yeah, definitely where we're going to be going into.
It feels like an ordinary building inside. I'm going to take a quick look at the interiors like.
It's kind of like the C's building in a way. The floors have the same pattern, which is kind of weird.
Huh? Is this feeling? Be careful everyone, it's the shadows. I'm sensing multiple shadows within. Everyone please take battle positions.
Okay, and with that, we actually have a new way of attacking. Or we don't actually attack short range anymore. We have a little gun now. So I have to get used to how to actually shoot it. But thankfully, we can actually attack from range now, so I'll eventually get used to it.
Oh, I must explain my origin mode to you.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Robot voice. Yes please. So how does it work?
Just like you, sister, I am able to go into origin mode. My limiter will be temporarily disabled. As a result, my offensive capabilities will increase dramatically. However, I won't be able to listen to your orders. Also, origin mode only lasts for a short time. I'll eventually overheat and become immobile. It takes time for my systems to cool down again. So it's important to use it only at the right moments. That is all. Do you want me to explain it again?
No, I'm good. I understand it.
The command to my activate origin mode can be accessed via tactics. Let me know when you want me to use it.
Okay. Neo Origin Mode. Okay, it's a different version. Menace Origin Mode is different than Aegis' Origin Mode. Menace Mode lasts longer for the duration. There is no SP or HP cost to the use skills. However, once Origin Mode ends, she will overheat and become immobile for several turns. Use it at the right moments for maximum effectiveness. Okay. So basically Aegis' version, which I actually never got to use because I didn't know that you can actually still set it into Origin Mode, even though you're acting like normal. So we're actually going to use it actually this time around, just so you guys can see it, and it will also help me out. Okay. So, Wild Beasts. I don't know what these guys could be weak to. I'm going to have Fuka get ready, though, and I guess we'll figure this out as we go, since we have to play a lot on weaknesses now. Oh, and thankfully they're actually weak to Augie, so that's actually good for us. But, yeah, apparently, as I said before, we're actually set onto hard mode, so this is 3 times harder than what I'm normally used to. And I'll be honest, I play on normal and easy mode when it comes to Persona games, so this is harder than I'm normally used to.
Alright, sister, let's get him.
Oh, and there we go. We actually got Metis' all-out attack almost instantly, so now we don't have to worry about that. That's interesting. So, and I don't think we're going to have any more new characters after this, by the way. I think Metis is literally the final character we can unlock. Maybe we get to play Shinjiro again? Because it is the Abyss of Time, so that means we could go back in time. So honestly, I guess we'll find out, but it is interesting. I do hope we could, because that will give him more story, right? Maybe I'll do something like that, because I actually can spawn him, which has been a thing that I could do since the beginning of the game, but it's just I want to, if he doesn't spawn, then so be it, but it would be kind of cool to, like, see him again after all this time, honestly, because, you know, he didn't really get much to actually do in the game, and he actually has higher level skills, so it's kind of weird that they even gave those to him in the first place if he's not going to ever be able to use them. So maybe he will come? It would be cool. But I guess we'll find out. I think these guys are weak to ice, and we don't have ice even available, so that's really fun. I'll be honest, because that's actually kind of hindering us, isn't it? Because usually, we don't have to worry about enemies that, you know, have no weaknesses to us at this point in the game. So it's kind of weird that we're not going to actually have any kind of, like, you know, safety right now for the most part. But thankfully we don't have to worry too much, since Aegis won't go down, because that'll give us a game over, but our allies will definitely not have much of a chance for the time being until we actually do train up a little bit more. But so far so good. So it seems like giving myself Aegis maxed out a little bit when it comes to actual persona-wise did actually help us to make this playable. Unlike before when I told you guys, I definitely don't think hard mode for me is definitely going to help at all. Because, yeah, thankfully this helps a little bit and alleviates a little bit of the problems.
I knew it. This feeling just like Tartarus did in the Black Shadows a moment ago. I have a bad feeling about this. Please use caution when proceeding.
Okay, so I did change my mind for how we'll do this first one. We're actually going to do the beginning part until we get to any kind of our, like, first little blockage area, and then we'll do our cuts. So I just want you guys to kind of understand how the Tartarus works, or Abyss of Time, because it's literally just the Tartarus at the end of the day. But I want you guys to understand that, yeah, it's literally just the Tartarus, as you can see. Same layouts, everything like that. But at least you have, like, different, like, models of the areas, because this one looks like the Sea Storm, which is kind of cool. But, yeah, it's basically going to be the same for the most part. But the story is all for sure going to be different, as we can tell with the beginning of the story. It was much different than what we went through before, so I am very interested in that part, and that's the reason why we're going through it. Because if I knew that this was going to be, well, let's say it like this. If this was basically just the Tartarus with one story at the very end, like Elizabeth, for her secret boss fight, which I already talked about before, then it would be a different story. But due to the fact that this is going to have an overarching story throughout the entirety of it, it's worthwhile for me to do this, because and then it's not really a problem anymore. So, although I still am thinking of doing Elizabeth's story for the side story, like, end for her, I am going to say that, I'm going to say we're probably just going to stick to this, because, honestly, I've been through enough Tartaruses at this point, and this is already, adding another Tartarus to the Tartarus that I already did. Thankfully, I don't think it's as many floors, so technically it's not going to be as bad, but I think you guys can understand why.
Oh, by the way, Aegis, you probably remember this, but be careful to watch everyone's stamina. If they're getting worn down, you should heal them. If you can't heal them, have one of the other party members do it. You're the leader now. If we work together, I know we'll be alright.
And I'm going to say, unlike the Tartarus, you don't get tired over time. So I'm going to say it's probably a little bit different from the normal Tartarus. Because over time, Tartarus makes you tired. And I don't think that's going to be possible if the day never changes. So I don't think that's going to be a feature in this one. So it's going to be like the other ones, but when it comes to the normal games, for like Persona 4 and Persona 5, where you don't get tired while you're in the dungeon, it's just that your stamina does eventually run out. So we do have to always pay attention on stamina and stuff like that, but it's good to know just in case. Since we know that these guys aren't weak to electricity, it's better off that we attack both of them at the same time. So Mazio is going to be very helpful here. Oh, Plumpia. That makes us not able to use abilities, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day for that one. Okay. Well, if we attack this guy, we're actually going to take his static. So we're going to actually go for this one instead. So we'll let him kind of just chill out for a little bit while we wail on his ally and make sure he's out of the picture first. And then we can go for Magaru here to attack both of them. And hopefully this will work in our favor. It's kind of weird though, we're using max level personas for our allies, but none of us are like able to use like our like old abilities and everything. Like you'd think they would still be like 60, level 70, something like that. But apparently we lose everything, which is weird. Definitely strange. And honestly, I'm going to take that EXP card because there's no reason not to grab that. And there you can see, max level Orpheus, because there's no way I would have been able to do this normally. Because, yeah, definitely not going to be an easy. Golden Shadow? What the? Okay. I don't see a way to buy anything, so that's interesting. Doesn't seem to be chasing me, it seems to still be running away from me, but that's weird, isn't it? Okay. So far it looks like this is leading to a dead end, so we're gonna go back the way we came. Oh, here we go. Another enemy we haven't seen in a while. Justice Sword. Don't know what these guys are weak to, so I guess we'll just go Agileo here. Thankfully, Orpheus at least gives us medium fire damage, so that's at least nice. But it's still not much because of the fact that we're still using light wind magic against enemies that are using medium attacks on us. So, yeah, it's still not really fair at the end of the day, is it?
Here's our chance, an all-out attack.
Okay, all-out attack is definitely useful. But yeah, you would think that we would at least have Garla on everybody. Or, what I mean is, like, basically max level for medium damage at least, because that would definitely help. Okay, gonna go for that EXP card, because that's actually what I want. Because the more EXP we get, the faster our allies are gonna stay in a good spot. I'm going to try... Oh no, this guy's chasing us no matter what. Thankfully, we can attack from long range, so we don't have to worry about getting hit and them getting the advantage. So technically, we don't have to worry as much. And thankfully, we actually know what these guys are weak to, so we can use that to our advantage. And now we don't have to really worry. And we have double wind users, so that also is effective here. And also, we get to see Psyche again, which is pretty cool.
Alright, sister, let's get him.
There's no real reason to do another all-out attack, but I want to do it anyways because it's flashy. And there we go. Perfect. It looks like all-out attacks are still broken, which is good for us because we can use that to our advantage. We got to cheese as much as we possibly can because I heard that not many people actually have fun with this. So when it comes to actually playing it, the story's fine. It's just that the difficulty of it, a lot of people are, you know, a lot of people seem to give up on this. So thankfully, we're able to make it to where it's actually fun in a way, because although it is another Tartarus, and yeah, maybe I'm kind of done with the Tartarus for the most part when it comes to, because I like the dungeons of Persona 4 and 5 a lot more, because they add more to the story. And is that where we're going? Yeah, it is. What the heck? There's a shadow blocking it. That's interesting, okay. I've never seen that before, but yeah, I still think that the dungeons in Persona 4 and 5 were more interesting. Well, obviously, that's a Savage Shadow. I'm going to stay away from that. That's a no. I don't even want those items. Those are near something I don't even want to figure out what the strength of that thing is. But, yeah, well, Persona 5 due to the fact that, although it is pre-generated and you know exactly how the layouts are from the get-go for Persona 5, you also have Mementos, and Mementos is cool because you can drive around with Morgana and your characters talk and bring up conversations through the entirety of it. So it's never just, like, silence or anything while you're going through it. You're always hearing something new, because there's so many voice lines and dialogues that they can go through that no matter what, you're going to hear something new throughout the entirety of the Mementos. And that's the reason why I like that. And then for Persona 4, for their version of the Tartarus / the Shadow World, or the TV World, or whatever you want to call it, or the Fog World, it was always different because although the dungeons were specifically set kind of like how their designs are for like the Tartarus and stuff like that, no matter what, the characters had dialogues for every single floor that actually meant something towards the story of what you were doing and always continued the story. That was why I always thought that was more interesting. It seems like Fuka may be changing it up a little bit, but I don't know for sure, because if Fuka goes to how Rise was with the floors, it'll make it more interesting for me. But Fuka really did repeat a lot of her lines during the main story during the Tartarus. I guess we'll find out for the Abyss of Time, but you never know. Maybe she'll actually start doing what Rise did, and she has story for each floor, which is interesting. But I guess we'll find out. So far, it seems that she's doing good, though.
Wait a moment. This reaction. You're getting closer to the strong presence. Please be careful.
And so far, it seems like she's going back to her old ways, which is a little unfortunate, but I just wanted you guys to kind of, like, know why I didn't have as much of fun with the Tartarus as I did with Persona 4's dungeons, because you saw I had a lot of fun with the Persona 4's dungeons, and I had no problems with them. And honestly, I really like the layouts of those ones, because although it did get repetitive at times, no matter what, it only got repetitive if you went back to the dungeon after completing it. So it always felt like something was going on outside of it, and that's the reason for it, and why I never had a problem with it. And I really liked it, and I think you guys can always understand, because if you watch through the series, I never had a bad time with Persona for any point in the game. And the only point where I ever had any kind of problem was the one cultural festival thing where it felt really weird, because it didn't feel like it was, like, nice-spirited. It felt very mean-spirited the way they did the events, if you guys understand what I'm trying to say. And hopefully, okay, thank goodness that person was close enough, because I don't know who was tailing behind, but they were out of range for the most part there. Okay. Well, since we have a new enemy on field, this little book guy, I'm gonna use medium damage on this guy just to get him at least... Oh, thankfully it dropped him. Okay, that's good. That works out. And then we can go for maybe an assault dive on the Maya guy, since we know that we don't have any of his weaknesses. So we can go straight out for the attack. And now we just have one left. We'll try autoing it and see what happens there. We can get a crit because it's in fear. So we can go for that. Thankfully it worked.
Alright, sister, let's get him.
Okay, let's get him indeed. Okay, so far so good. No big problems, but that's only because we have an advantage. And that's the only reason why we're doing anything good here. Because, yeah, they start you out really low level compared to these guys. I think these guys are level 30, and your allies and you start at like level 20-something. So, yeah, they definitely do hinder you. And there's that money that I was telling you guys about. Because for some reason you get money in the Tartarus still, or the Abyss of Time. And I don't understand that, because where would you spend it if you're stuck in the dorm? Unless we got, like, a vendor of some sort, but I don't know how that would work, honestly, but... Oh no, savage enemy. Run for your lives! Run, 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 nope, nope, not gonna try that. I don't want to try that yet. I don't feel confident with that. And somehow that was in the right direction to actually hit that thing. Okay, I'll take it. That works for me. Okay. We could go for double Agileo, since we should be fine for the most part with using spells, because we're actually not bad on the SP gauge, so I don't feel bad on using any kind of like spells here. So honestly, we'll just use them, because I don't think we have to worry as much about that. And cool, there we go. Down goes those guys, and we are good for now. I see another EXP card, so I'm gonna go for that, just because those are safe to go for. And honestly, I'd rather have those than not have anything at all, honestly, at the end of the day. And might as well grab this free item, since we are kind of limited on items for the time being. So just in case, we'll grab that. Okay, into the 7th floor. Pretty interesting. I don't know when the first blockage will happen, but... Oh, here we go. We might be already here. There he is again, Spooks. What is he doing?
I sensed something unusual running by just up ahead. I wonder what it was. It seems to have gone down to a lower floor.
That's weird. Why are we running away? That is weird, isn't it? Huh. Okay. But it's like a shadow version of us based on what they're saying. Which is weird, isn't it? Okay, so these should heal me due to the mod that I have. So, apparently you can only save at these before, so I'm gonna heal myself real quick. And I guess I think we'll be fine for now. I think we will. I don't know. I'm probably gonna do some training, and then we'll come back here, because apparently this might be a boss fight, based on what Fuka just said. So, I'm gonna go train a little bit, get myself ready for whatever we're gonna get ourselves into. We'll do the boss fight, and then we'll figure out from there, I think. So with that, I'll be right back, and we'll be getting ourselves into the next floors. So, here you be, boys and girls. Okay, now that we're back and we're actually trained up a little bit, I actually found out that, apparently Mementos actually learns, not just wind magic, but she actually learns ice magic as well, which is actually interesting. So, she's gonna be like a elemental user, which is pretty cool, because there's very little of those when it comes to the actual, like, Seas members that other than, like, the main character. So that's actually going to be nice to have multiple elements that we can actually dish out at any point with another character other than the main character. So that's nice to see, because Aegis and Spooks were the only people that could do that. So that's going to be nice to have multiple elements being able to be thrown out. That isn't just, like, electricity and then Mahama or something, or fire and Mudo skills like Koromaru and Ken. So that's going to be interesting. But with that, let's actually get ourselves to the 8th floor and see what's going on.
I'm sensing a strong presence below. You might have to fight immediately after going down there. Are you sure you're prepared?
I think we are. So with that, let's make our way deeper into the Abyss, or in the Mail Bulge, or whatever you want to call it. Honestly, I'd rather call it the Abyss, because the name of this place sounds pretty interesting if you really think about it. I don't want to go in detail, but I think you guys can understand what I mean by that.
Multiple shadows confirmed. I think they've been waiting for us. Look, that strange presence is there too.
And it looks like we're fighting a steel Gygus of some sorts. Definitely a different version of it, but it is a giant Hulk Hogan, as we know.
Oh, that reaction vanished.
And there we go again, running off. I don't think that's really us, but it is weird.
Incoming shadows, please be careful.
Okay, so these are going to more than likely be like the Guardians that we fought during the Tartarus. So we got to be very careful. I'm going to say the biggest guy is probably going to be the most problematic. Let's be honest here. It's just the smartest idea here. So, Immortal Gygus. Okay, we're going to be going for him. Just in case, because I don't... Okay, he reflects fire. Good to know. Never trying that again. Let's see here then. Let's go for Magaru then? Probably? Yeah, I think that's probably the best. We could go Garla, but I'm going to say Magaru for now to do at least a little bit of damage to the enemies around. Just in case. Okay. Oh, and he is weak to wind. Good. That's actually good to know because of the fact that, you know, our Mementos here is actually a wind-based user as well, so that actually helps. Let's set her into Origin mode for the time being, so she'll turn into her more stronger self in a second, and then we'll figure out from there. And since this guy is down, let's do a medium Garla to him to do at least a good amount of damage. Try and drop him a little bit. Although he gets back up, it's still better than nothing, honestly, at the end of the day. And then we can go for a Sonic Punch to knock him down onto his feet again, because that'll help us, honestly. And thankfully he doesn't have, like, high counter or something, or reflect physical. So it seems like we can't use our fire skills on him, but we can still do damage, which is good. So probably Light Strike here would be the best thing. So let's go Swift Strike here and figure out what we do. And then from there we'll figure out what's... Okay then, okay, fighting this boss fight part 2. Now that you guys see that even if we have a maxed out persona, it doesn't really mean much at the end of the day. Now you guys get to see what actually happens once we actually figure this out correctly. So don't attack these guys with physical, got it. And don't use fire on this guy. So literally all of Aegis' abilities are technically useless in this fight. That's fun. Since you start with Orpheus and all he has is physical and fire skills, that's really nice game. Very helpful to help us out here. Definitely made it easy on us, didn't ya? Okay, wait a minute, before we forget. So we have this set up already. Origin mode for you, just so she's set up already. Because she'll go into it immediately. And apparently she does more damage, and she doesn't take spell points or any kind of like weakness point increases and stuff like that. So we'll honestly use that to our advantage. Use Garla again. And knock him up, but the thing is we'll be able to use Metis to knock him back down onto the ground. Okay, but yeah, we're gonna knock him out first, I think, because that would be smart. Honestly, after getting one-shotted by my own physical attack, I'm kind of scared to use a all-around attack again, so I guess we'll just go Zayanga here, just to test it, just see what goes on. Okay, he blocks it. Okay, so see. There's sometimes Mazio and multi-range attacks aren't really safe, so just in case we'll be careful here. Okay, so Origin mode, we'll go into Garla immediately, and we'll go into attacking this Gygus guy again. And hopefully from there we'll be able to figure... Seriously, he's got Dodge Wind on top of that? Okay, that's fun. Very fun. Okay, Assault Dive on him, since at least we know that this is going to do like 200 damage. Okay, good. He's almost down, and then we can start focusing on his allies and figure out what they're actually weak to, since we can't use physical attacks on them. But thankfully, due to the fact that Gygus or not Gygus. I don't know why I said Gygus, but Aegis. Well, I guess their names rhyme, but due to Aegis and Yukari both using piercing weapons, we don't have to really worry as much because we can use our piercing instead of our smashing. And I hate that dodge wind. That's actually kind of annoying. It's like rolling a dice and hoping that we actually hit them. Okay, thankfully we have Sonic Punch since he shouldn't be able to dodge this, right? Unless he dodges it normally. So he doesn't have like a freebie, but it is a little annoying though that he's going to be dodging constantly. So that's good to know for later because he might be doing that from now on. So in case that happens in the future. Thanks, game. that's very nice. Very nice mechanic. I'll be honest. I'm trying to be as positive as possible. I'll be honest. But okay, well that doesn't help us at all. But okay, let's go into Magaru since okay, that's safe. Okay, so we can go Magaru here without having to worry as much. Is Mazio safe here or is it not? I guess we'll find out now that we can test it. Okay, they heal off of electricity. That's very nice. Due to the fact that you literally have to use electricity out of the characters that you're given at the beginning, so that's actually kind of a little mean in a way, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so do we use wind or do we use... I'll go Fatal End. We'll test if slashing is okay here. Because, nope, slashing is not okay. Good to know. Okay, so no slashing and no smashing. Agileo probably doesn't work. So... I guess we'll go piercing then. Let's test it. Okay, we crit. Okay, good to know. We should probably go one-on-one. So... we do a decent amount of damage to one of them, so we'll go and force attacks into the downed one now, just to be safe. And then from there, we'll figure it out. Okay. Well, Akihiko can't do anything here. So, I guess he's just going to be here to drop weaknesses, I guess. Just to make sure this guy's out of the picture. So I guess that's what we'll do. And then, from there, I guess we just wail on the guy that's still on the field, one by one. Because definitely not going to be easy on us, but we'll eventually get through them. As long as we go through them one by one. And then we'll be safe, I think. And somehow he survived that. I don't know how, but he definitely did. Okay, let's hopefully get a crit here. No, we didn't, but we do know that this guy's going to go down. We'll go into the Magaru now, since we do know it's going to hit them all. And then from there, we'll figure out who we'll go for next. Okay, so far so good, though. Okay, now that we have the Rotunda target out of the way, we'll drop another Rotunda onto this guy. So we have our rest of our people attacking him, and then Aegis working on the next one. Okay. So far so good. At least we're not getting destroyed this time round. Okay, Origin Mode's now out of the picture, but we're also overheated, which I think we can't use her now. Oh wait, no, she goes... oh no, it turns her into Angry Mode, doesn't it? I honestly don't know. I barely used Origin Mode on Aegis. So, I'm gonna be honest, I actually don't know how it works for Metis. Since it is apparently different than the one that we used in the original story, which I barely used as is because I didn't know that you could just swap her into it even though you're playing like how I did. So honestly, I don't know how that's gonna work, but I guess we'll find out. And then we'll drop Rotunda on the one that hasn't been Rotunda'd, I guess, because he can't literally do anything. So he's just gonna have to like kind of just sit here for a bit because he does smashing attacks when he attacks. So what does Metis do? Oh no, she just can't attack. Okay, that's good to know. That actually helps us a little bit. Okay, so the allies should be able to get rid of the rest of those. We could go for Magaru here. It might get rid of both, so let's test it. Hopefully it does, because that'll work. Oh, it didn't. Okay, well, do I have an item that we can use? No, we don't. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate, because I literally can't do much here. Because apparently wind actually helps them, so I don't know what to really do there, but honestly, I guess we could just heal Yukari, I guess, because Yukari's a little low. Although we don't really need to, but it's literally all he could do, because Akihiko can't help us here. Unless he had, like, Maracunda or something like that at the moment, but we don't have that because apparently the game felt like we didn't need any of that yet because we lost all of our attacks that we gained throughout the story, which is a little unfortunate. But we'll eventually get everything back as long as we get back to where we were. I'm going to use Garula just in case because I have a feeling it's better hit rate than using our main weapon, so just in case I'm using that. And thankfully down goes the first fight. And we got a good bit of levels out of it. Got another level 4 FES, even though we really don't need that. And hopefully a couple levels for our allies, because they're definitely going to need it, because Aegis wasn't a problem in that fight. It was more of our allies that couldn't do much. Because, as you saw, Akihiko couldn't do anything.
What was that black shadow? Oh, there's a door up ahead. Aegis, can you investigate? Don't worry, I'm certain that it's not dangerous. It'll just transport you somewhere else.
Probably. Yeah, we can test it. I want to check around first before we do anything. Okay, we got items, beads. I'll take those. Bombs of life. Those are also helpful. Okay, at least we get some free items after everything. And the next floor, so the 9th floor there. Interesting. So why would we go through the door then?
This door, I wonder where it leads.
Yeah, same. Where does it lead us? Okay. So the door leads us back here. But the door's further out now. Okay, that's interesting.
This place, the Desert of Doors. I see. So the door leads here.
Yeah, it does. But it's further out because the further we're into the dungeon. Interesting. Okay. But we can also go back to the beginning of it. Oh, it's a second door. Okay, I didn't even realize that. Okay, so we can go back halfway in now. Okay, that's interesting. Huh. Okay, well, let's go back in then. There's no reason to leave yet, so it's actually pretty cool, though. So it's gonna be basically like the teleporters in the Tartarus, even though the teleporters are still here. They're the little green ones, though. They're not like the big ones where they take you back to where you were. But that is interesting, though. Okay, so honestly, let's go into the next floor, and then I guess we'll do a cut to the end of this area, because honestly, I'm not going to go through every single floor, because let's be honest, I didn't do that with the Tartarus. I don't think I would do that with the Abyss. It's just to save us a lot of time, honestly, because the Abyss is basically a second Tartarus. I don't know how many floors, but I think there's like 20 or something on this specific area, so yeah, we're definitely not going to do all those in one episode, I'm going to be honest. So to save us some time, I'm going to do a skip to the next area, or at least the next boss fight, or if there is no boss fight, I guess to wherever the end of this area is, because I don't think Fuga is going to be saying new things every single floor, let's be honest.
The atmosphere on this floor seems different. The shadow seems different too, be careful.
And, see, she did a repeat of what she said in the Tartarus, so with that being said, I'll see you all once we get to the end of this area. So, with that, BRB, boys and girls. Okay, and now that we're actually gone through as far as I possibly can, it looks like we have something new on the 15th floor. So, let's see what we got ourselves into. And if you're wondering, yes, I did do a little bit of training in between, so let's see what's going on here.
It looks like a dead end. What was that black shadow we keep seeing? Oh, sorry. We'll head over there now. Why don't you see if we can do anything else?
Okay. Well, there's only one place we can go, and it's this big door, and whatever is next to us, whatever, like, the weird floors that are upside down and things. So honestly, there's only one place we can go. A door. Yeah, a door indeed.
It seems like we've reached the first goal.
First goal, you say? So that means we're at the end of the first area, then. This place was bigger than I thought. How many more times we gotta do this? Yeah, how many times do we have to do this? Based on the doors, it seems like 8, but yeah, I don't actually know if that's actually true. I was just kind of guessing when I said, we're gonna be probably doing like 8 blocks, because I was going off the Tartarus, but that is interesting.
I don't know for sure, but judging by the Desert of Doors, it's not going to be just once or twice.
Yeah, I'm gonna base it on that too, because there seems to be 8 doors, so that as well.
I was afraid you'd say that. We're looking for the source of the troubles, so logically, it should be at the deepest level.
True.
Then all we can do is keep going forward until the end.
True.
It's like Tartarus all over again.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting, though.
The two structures are very similar in some ways.
But instead of going up, we're going down, which is weird. So instead of going to the heavens, we're going to the fiery pits of hell, basically, I guess you could say, because that's definitely what this Tartarus seems to be, like the tower that, if you look in the Christianity Bible, I don't know if it's the same one, but I'm going based on religious Bibles here, because a lot of the personas are based on religious, figures and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go based on one that I know a little bit about, even though I'm not really, like, I'm not Christian anymore, but I used to be. And in the Bible that I read, there was a tower, and everyone knew the same language, and they wanted to build towards the heavens. So in order for the people not to actually get to the heavens early, and for some reason, God took away the ability for them to talk to each other, because they all knew the same language, and then also destroyed their tower. And I think that's basically what the Tartarus is, but in a different sense for this game. But it is interesting, because it kind of reminds me of that. But if we're going down, that means we're going to, you know, fiery pits of hell. So, Cerberus, which is Koromaru's persona, would technically be protecting this area, but since Cerberus works for Koromaru now, it means we're allowed in here perfectly fine, and there's no trouble of a gateway dog, I guess you can say, but it is interesting, because technically our personas kind of work towards the story as well, in a way.
Not only that, but you've got the friggin' shadows wandering around. Jeez, I never thought I'd have to see another one of those. But hey, the lost are all gone, so how come they're still around?
Yeah, that is weird.
Another question that needs an answer. Though it's not like where you can leave until we find out.
Wait, does that mean we're never safe because of the fact that if the shadows are still around and the bunker in the, Seas dorm is open at 24/7 now? Does that mean we have to worry about shadows attacking us while we're sleeping? That's kind of scary too, don't you? Like, I hope that we don't have to, but that is definitely a looming threat, isn't it?
Heh.
Yeah, it's... all we could do is just keep going down, based on what we can tell. Like the Tartarus, we went to the top, but now we have to go down to literally the bottom just to figure out anything about what's going on here.
What's wrong?
Yeah, what's wrong, Yukari?
Oh, nothing, it's just... After the hell we went through, we finally had some peace. I was determined to keep my eyes on the future and not look back. But now I'm being dragged back to the way things used to be.
But, honestly, weren't those fun, to be honest, since, honestly, I liked fighting all the shadows and stuff during the main story. So, honestly, at the end of the day, it was fun, but technically it did need to end at some point. So, although it's unfortunate, and fortunate at the same time, it's still sad that the fact that, even though everything they went through and everything they fought for, someone else ended up dying, even though that was what they were fighting for not to happen anymore. And I don't know why we had to die in the first place for them to have a peaceful future. Unless, I don't know, honestly, but yeah, it's strange. And it's honestly kind of sad that it ended that way, because they already lost so many people, and Chidori's fate is, not 100%, due to the fact that, you can either beat the game with Chidori still dead, or you can beat the game where you saved Chidori like we did. So, technically, Chidori can also still be dead and we saved no one, on top of the people that, had a chance in the fight, and then didn't get the chance, like Shinjiro, Akinari, I guess you could say Muley from that one support with Aegis. Yeah, a couple people died throughout our story, and we had no choice on saving them except for Chidori. So, honestly, the only happiness we got out of, like, actually being able to save anybody was Chidori and the people that ended up surviving, because we got rid of the Dark Hour in general. So, yeah, honestly, the people close to us, only one person ended up living through our story when it came to people that could die. So, it is really unfortunate. at the end of the day, if you really think about that, because Shinjiro's dead, Akinari's dead, Mr. Kurijo's dead, Shinjiro, Shuji. Even though Shuji was a villain, he still was kind of cool for the most part, until he turned evil. And he was still cool when he was evil, but in a villain sense. So, yeah, it's pretty unfortunate at the end of the day, but it is interesting. But, let's continue, though.
Yukari. Time doesn't flow that normally here. It's no surprise you feel that way. You'll find there will be many opportunities to revisit your past here.
Our past? What do you mean by that?
What's that supposed to mean?
Huh? Yeah, what's that supposed to mean? We can revisit our past? Wait, are you saying that I can see Shinjiro again, maybe? Please tell me that. I actually really do miss him. Polonium Mall? Unknown. Okay. So this must be the past then, if it's saying unknown, since we're not on 331 anymore like we were. So, interesting.
This is, Polonium Mall? But weren't we just inside?
We were, but... That's weird. That's a weird way. And the door is still behind us, so we could travel back there still. That's weird.
What's going on? Did we make it out somehow?
I don't think it's exactly out, but we are outside, in a way.
I don't know. Something seems off. Isn't it kinda hot in here?
Hot, you say? That's weird. Oh, look who it is. It's, the police guy, Kurosawa. Long time no see, bud.
You kids.
Yeah, hey, bud.
Kurosawa-san.
Does he remember us?
What are you doing out here on a weekday? Shouldn't you be in school?
Technically, but we don't actually know what day it is.
Oh, but it's spring break now.
Yeah, it is. But apparently, based on what Mementos said, we're in the past. Huh, weird.
Spring break. That was just a couple months ago. It's June now.
June? Okay. So it's not the past then, it should be the future. If it's June. Huh, okay.
What's with those two costumes back there? Is there some sort of event going on?
Yeah, totally. They're in cosplay. We can't tell them that they're robots, can we?
Oh no, it's,
Honestly, he worked for us, so I don't think it's a bad problem to tell him that.
Well, I'll let it slide. I know you kids are a little different. But if you try to use that that it's an all-purpose excuse, I'll have to enforce the law. Don't forget it.
Okay. Well, it doesn't seem like he's on her side as much as he used to be. So, that's unfortunate, but... Huh. Jeez. Well, he seems to still know us, so that's good.
All the dates displayed here say 2009. The calendar, too. Could that June he mentioned be June of last year?
Oh. Okay, so that makes sense why. But we were... Wait, that means the main character is alive here, right? Because we approached here in March or April. So, if it's June, that means we're here. So we could see the main character again, right? Unless we can't leave this place. It's very possible we can't leave, but it is interesting.
That's impossible. Are you just saying this is the past? Hey, just a sister.
She has a name, dude. But they don't like her other than Aegis. Maybe Fuka, maybe. Or Koro, but yeah, everyone else seems to not like her at the moment. She definitely needs to, make up what she did earlier, because she kind of beat Ken to a pulp, if you guys remember, in the intro, and Ken was bleeding, so I don't think she went too easy on him.
Hey, you listening?
Doesn't seem like it. She's very enthused about that fountain, kind of like Elizabeth, which is kind of funny. Are the things here that interesting to you? Yeah, are they?
No, not at all. It's all everyday stuff, right? This is a fountain, and that over there is a store.
Yeah, it is. Yes, yes. I like how she nodded her head. It's true that I sometimes come here to gaze at the fountain.
Really? Then you feel the same?
Yeah, I like the fountain. The fountain spirits are definitely looking up on us today, based on what Elizabeth said, back when we did her first date on Polonium Mall. But there's something odd about being here, for all of us, not just you. Tell me, what is this place? Yeah, what is this place exactly? It can't be the past, really.
We came here by passing through a door, remember? Doors like that are in several places throughout the abyss of time, and each one is connected to the past.
Okay. So they're all different years, maybe?
Then this really is last year.
Apparently.
How else can I explain the different time and season? But it seems you can't just go anywhere in the past, only somewhere from your memories. This looks like a mall, but I don't think it's connected to any place else either.
Okay, so we are trapped here still, which makes sense. But, okay, so we can still go to the past, though, so we could meet characters that are no longer alive in the main story, so we can still run into Mr. Corrijo or anyone else that died. That's interesting. So we might even be able to see, like, characters past, because there's instances in the past that we haven't seen for, like, Mitsuru and stuff like that, so maybe we can see stuff like that, like, how Strega got their powers and stuff like that. That would be interesting. But, I don't know. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. It'd be interesting, though, because apparently it's not just, like, 2009. It can be places before that. It's just, depending on your memories, which is interesting. So that means any character here, we can go into their past, which is interesting. I hope that's the case, because that would make things very, very cool and make this all worth it, in my opinion. Because being able to see their past is something that's honestly been something I've been wanting to see for a long time. Because I thought the game would eventually go into it, but they were very secretive on their past for some reason throughout the entirety of the game. So, because they were always looking towards the future and never towards the past. So, maybe we might be able to see that. That'd be cool.
The past. Oh, man.
Yeah, in the past indeed. Honestly, it's not a bad thing.
It's lucky we found this place. We'll be able to get supplies here. We should be able to use what we can get here until the abyss of time disappears. The reason why the door led us here may have something to do with you. The doors may reflect your inner thoughts.
Okay. So okay, so as long as we want to see someone's past, we can definitely see so. Okay. So we'll put in a note for hopefully seeing Mitsuru's past in the future. That's where my thoughts are going to go to now.
She's taking this pretty well. It's also bewildering to me.
Same, honestly. It's kind of weird, but it's cool at the same time.
Well, when things are relief, at least we won't starve.
True. Very true. Because that was definitely a problem, wasn't it? So it was that when we learned that place was named, why that place was named the Abyss of Time, a place where you can revisit days gone by. But thinking back on it, it wasn't only the astonishing nature of the place that surprised us. It may be that we all unconsciously saw a kind of salvation. I guess, yeah, I can see it as a salvation in a way. Although we shouldn't take solace in it, since although it is cool that we can do this, I don't think it's too much of a good thing. What are you doing, Fuka?
It seems to be true that this place isn't connected to the outside world. You can't leave here either. You'll be only pushed back to this by a strange force.
Alright, we'll try. Okay. Oh, yep, invisible barrier. An invisible barrier seems to prevent you from going forward. Okay, well at least that proves that we can't leave. Pant, pant, pant. You can't clearly understand his feelings as you did before. Koromaru is looking ahead as if curious. Aw, I was kind of hoping we get to read his mind when we started playing as Aegis. That's unfortunate.
The world of the past? Hey, didn't your sister say there were lots of places like this?
Yeah, she did. Wonder where else we can visit, though.
At least we can go get supplies now, but I didn't imagine it would happen quite this way. The Abyss of Time.
Yeah, the Abyss of Time, indeed. Well, what about you, Ken?
I can't believe we were taken to the past. In a way, this is a lot more serious than the Dark Hour.
It is, honestly. In a way. We're kind of stuck in one time, which is weird.
First our dorm's hooked up to a labyrinth, and now we're in the world of the past. Jeez, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, it is pretty strange. What about you, Junpei?
I never thought we'd end up here. But hey, at least we don't have to worry about getting starving to death. I think it's about time Koromaru and I stepped up to help with the investigation.
Oh yeah, since they were supposed to find food, so now we have Junpei and Koro available as people we can play as now. Mitsuru still technically hasn't finished with her document thing, so I don't think she's going to be playable yet, but it's nice in general.
Was that unfriendly man Kurosawa the owner of this shop? Is that a typical shop?
Nope, it's a police station. That's not where you buy guns and weapons, normally. I don't think the pharmacy or Kurosawa's shop is going to have anything interesting, or the B-Blue 5, because those are where we can normally buy items. But this lady right here was something that was interesting in the main story, so apparently she, because if you look at the notes, the only person I can think of that it would be, and I think I actually brought it up before, is she's the lady that wrote the notes in the Tartarus that we found throughout the entirety of the Tartarus. So I think I honestly want to see if talking to her might bring up anything. Then look, don't tell me, are you? It can't be. No, it's no longer any concern of mine. Forget what I just said. Okay, so that does prove it. Okay, so she knows what type of robot Aegis is. So that proves that she did work for the Kirijo group. Interesting. I was wondering that, because if you look into it really a lot, she knows what personas are beforehand, and she even talks about it, like, out of the blue, and that she can turn your persona into weapons. So I think that kind of proves it to begin with, and she always seemed kind of off, so it's kind of cool that that kind of just proves it that she did work for the Kirijo group in some way. And I also think that she is the person that wrote it, because it said that they left the company based on what the ending one said. So if they left the company and are no longer a part of it, it would have to be this lady, because we can run into her. So that is interesting, but I wonder if her story is ever going to get expanded anymore. Maybe not, maybe will. Oh, honestly, no, but honestly, I guess we'll head back through the door since we don't need to do any of this right now. I'll do this all in between episode because we can buy items and stuff. We're not going to go right back into the dungeon right away. We're going to be ending the episode before we do the next dungeon, but I honestly want to head back to the dorm just in case. Is this? Yeah, it's the dorm. It made sense as it would head back to the dorm, or at least the Desert of Doors. So I knew we were heading back at least, because I don't think it would just throw us into the next dungeon, let's be honest.
Wow. I didn't think we'd emerge directly here instead of the Desert of Doors. Looks like this place is fully connected to the Abyss of Time now. Maybe it's because everyone was hoping to make frequent resupply trips. This will certainly make it easier to go back and forth.
Well, at least it heads back to where we need to go, so thankfully it's a nice and safe area, based on what we could see.
Hello? We're kind of blocked back here.
Honestly, you could have just went around us. It didn't look like that was that small of a doorway, but if you say so.
No way, this is crazy.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy, but it's cool, though.
Hey, hurry up. There's more of us blocked back here.
Yep, the entire group. You found a means of getting supplies, but you're still trapped in the dorm. What awaits you, even deeper inside the labyrinth? Technically, we're not trapped, because at least we can go inside the Polonia Mall and just chill out if we really wanted to, and I think the time repeats there too, so you'll never get in trouble with Kurosawa, so technically we're safe for that way.
Alright, it's time for me and Koromaru to get back to action.
Oh, woof woof. I thought he was gonna talk again.
Let's do this.
But it was Aegis who ended up finding the supply route, not you.
It's kind of hard when it flips like that. Because at least in like the later games, you can kind of tell when it's gonna flip, but okay.
Note to self, ignore Akihiko-senpai.
Yeah, note to self indeed. Let's talk to Junpei now that he's able to actually join us now. See what his ideas are on us.
Oh yeah, in case you forgot, Ai-chan, let me give you a heads up. My persona rocks with fire. Koromaru-san is good with darkness skills, and he shrugs off Muno skills like water off a dog's back. I know we'll be useful somewhere, so let us know when time comes.
Okay, well definitely. So, there was one thing I noticed that I haven't got to talk about today's episode. You can actually go farther into the dorm, and there was something I noticed back when I was walking around here. This. I don't know what's going on here, but this was the dorm room that Spooks was staying in, or Makoto. So, it is weird. It's Spooks' old room. Strangely, the doorknob won't budge at all. And it seems like it's attached to the Desert of Doors somehow. I don't know how exactly, but it seems like it leads somewhere in there. It's weird. Very, very weird. But that's the only door I've seen. So I don't know what's going on there. But he's definitely connected, though, in some sort of way. But with that being said, that will be today's episode, since we finished off the first door, and we still have many more to do. So, with that being said, thank you all for watching, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Peace out. Hey boys and girls, thank you all for watching today's episode. If you liked what you saw today, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe. And hit the bell notification down below. If you guys have any kind of suggestions for games, please put that in the comments down below as well. Thank you all for watching today's episode, and keep being spooky. Peace out, guys.